Hola, chicos and chicas. What's good? I am Winston A. Marshall, aka the Swaggy Blurred. I'm going to be holding the fort down again today with hosting duties for this edition of Capes and Cows. Mr. Haloff is off at New York Comic-Con, and he's actually going to attempt to call into the show. The signal's kind of bad. He's been trying to work all that out, but we will see what happens. We are hoping that he's going to be able to be there and give us some exclusive stuff while he's down on the floor. But in case he can't, don't worry, myself and Chris Carr are still here. We're going to hold it down one way or the other. We'll keep you posted on that call as it's coming. But we got a lot to talk about. Peacemaker ended, and people are kind of mixed about the season finale, myself included. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. Let me pull up that list here. Jonathan Majors is talking about Loki and Kang, and he says he can't really talk about the future of Kang at this moment. But who knows? Does this mean that Kang is coming back and they're going to have to wrap that up with the bow instead of doing it off screen? What else? Doomsday. One Spider-Man actor can't confirm if they'll return or not. We'll talk about that. Marvel Animation. We're going to be ranking all of the Marvel Animation shows from worst to best. They've got a list. Chris and I will give you our list. And finally, we're going to talk about it right off top. Wonder Man just dropped their teaser trailer at New York Comic-Con. We can't show it here just because there's issues with the stream to do that. So if you want to quickly open up a second browser and watch it, it's like a minute long. Go find that because we're going to talk about it right away. But with that being said, it's myself. It's Chris Carr. We're doing the damn thing. Do we not have no more intros? Oh, it's right here. I'm just blind. Let's start. Greatest superhero comic book movie TV show on the entire interwebs. It is Capes and Cows. I am again Winston A. Marshall, aka the Swaggy Blurred. Thank you so much for joining us. I am not here alone. I have the incomparable, the beautiful, the brilliant, the wonderful Chris Carr up in the building. Hi, Chris.
Hi, bud. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm pet sitting, so I keep pinging back and forth between somebody else's house. So I'm a little scatterbrained. I'm a little all over the place.
I 100% get it. This has been arguably the craziest week of my life.
What's going on?
Just ripping and running and running and ripping all over the place, man. Work. And you know, I'm back in the gym now, and the only way for me to pull that off is doing like 6-7 a.m. workouts, which I'm not built. I'm not a morning person. I never have been. I prefer to do, if I'm going to work out, I prefer to do it in the afternoon. But scheduling wise, that doesn't happen.
No.
So between that, not complaining, I have both a commercial audition and a feature film audition that came in, but one of them's due this afternoon, and as soon as this is over, I have to go to my other job, like physical labor job, so I don't even know how I'm going to film it. And then the other one is due on Monday. I would rather get it done early, but I probably gonna have to do it on Sunday, which is what I was asking you about. I'm just so, you know.
Good problems to have, though. I'm excited for you about this. I love this. It's great. Yeah. Is your commercial audition at least something just kind of like dumb, where you get to just like move a box and then show your hands?
No, it's a little more involved because it's like a game and it's like a family playing it. So I have to have reactions to all the things that are going on. And I'm supposed to be like in a living room playing the game with my family, using my phone as a controller. So like the issue is I got to place like football players running to a wall. I got to place like, Pictionary comes to life. So it's supposed to be somebody like drawing on something. And I'm supposed to be like, it's just, I am excited about it. It pays very good money, but it's involved enough that it wasn't like I could have shot it by myself last night. I need someone to kind of read the stuff as it's going on.
Sure.
And so even when essentially what I told my coworkers is I was like, look, I'm going to get there like 5 minutes early. I'm going to need to start about 15 minutes late. So can one of you just meet me over in the living room area? So I can do that. Like, and I'm gonna have to just explain it to my boss once, like when he sees me, like, like he's just gonna have to be like, oh, okay, sure, great.
Your boss is Tim Allen? That's crazy.
Like just.
People in the chat are very excited about your Tanjiro robe, BT
Dubs. Oh, people noticed. Okay, you saw the drip. swag, drip. Yeah, we coming for them chips. All right, let's focus and talk about what's going on here. Specifically, we just both watched the Wonder Man teaser trailer. If you didn't do it, I'll do you guys a solid. I think I still have the URL. Yep, I do. It was tweeted out. You can, there you go. You can open it up on a separate browser. Don't close the show and check it out. It's about a minute long. We get to see what the reason for the story. Clearly, there was a Wonder Man show / movie series back in the day. A director wants to revive it, and this young boy that we see used to watch Wonder Man and absolutely loved it, is enthralled by the idea. And when they ask about casting, he's like, oh my God, I got to go out for it. And that young boy is Simon Williams, played by Yahya. So just a little teaser as to how the show will move forward plot-wise. What did you think about it, Chris?
Oh, this was so charming and also so meta. I love that it's a point blank. Well, people are so tired of superhero shows, aren't they? Why this one? And I love that they just dive in with that. I like the idea of Marvel and Disney acknowledging how a lot of the commentary has been around their own media. I think that's really, really great and smart, especially for a character like Wonder Man, who you have so many opportunities to do those kind of meta things with. My biggest thing is, especially based on what, the folks involved with the show have said, obviously, our executives, our showrunners, everyone are going to talk about how incredible this show is, how this is their favorite thing that people haven't seen and all that good stuff. But this does look like a really fun, different pivot. And I'm hoping that's what we get here. I hope that we have some of the kind of tongue-in-cheek moments that we had from She-Hulk that worked. Yeah. I hope we have that kind of idea of we're going to be a little self-deprecating, a little inside baseball every now and then, but still giving us a really great story that still that still makes sense for us to have a Wonder Man show. Because that's the one thing that I've been worried about is, are we just taking the name Wonder Man, throwing it on something and going, we're going to do whatever we want with it? This feels like a really cool way to take that whole actor idea and make it work for a show like this. What about you?
I agree. I mean, I've been excited about this just for two reasons. I mean, one, Yahya is just a fantastic actor. He's one of my favorites in the business. I don't feel like I could be wrong, but it doesn't feel like he's been working a whole lot recently. So who knows, for whatever myriad of reasons. It could be personal, it could be whatever, or maybe, like I said, I just missed the stuff that he was doing. Maybe it was a little more low key. So I'm excited to see him. But the character of Wonder Man is genuinely fascinating. My main thought, introduction to him was from the Avengers, not Avengers Assemble, but Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Him being more of kind of like a villain in that regard and whatnot. And I didn't know quite as much about him, but I've since in the books understood and met him. And the idea that, if I remember correctly, whose mind is based of Vision's mind, I think in the books at some points is based off of his mind. I don't know if I'm getting that wrong.
I think that was like an emotional influence as well.
Something like that. And so then there's also the idea of Wanda pseudo dated him for a minute, and then but then his mind was imprinted on Vision, and it was just a whole bunch of stuff going on there, which is interesting. But
we all make the same mistakes dating. We date the same person over and over again, inevitably. So it made sense.
Yeah. So wait, Wonder Man. Let's see, Wonder Man imprinted on Vision. I think that's right. Yep. Wonder Man fought his brother to save it. No. What? Oh, okay. Yeah. They are. Yeah, his mind somehow, they kind of used it to help with Vision, and since we have White Vision, and I believe that is specifically what it is, and we've got Vision Quest coming up, I wonder if that's going to be worked in any form or fashion. Maybe not, but yeah, his brain patterns were used to help restore White Vision. So interesting, just overall very interesting to kind of see what will happen. But yeah, I'm loving everybody loving the Tangerine Drip. Sorry, I just saw another comment. I had to say something. Thank you so much to Luke. Luke pulled it real quick. Wonder Man is directly connected to the Vision because Ultron used Wonder Man's brainwaves to create the Vision. While Wonder Man was in a coma, his brain patterns were recorded by Hank Pym. Ultron stole those recordings and used them along with an android body of Jim Hammond to construct the Vision. This connection causes Vision to have human emotions and conflicting programming, and has led to a complex relationship between the two characters over the years. Okay, so it'll be interesting knowing that there's been talks with Vision Quest about potentially Ultron returning, the idea of like family drama and all that. There's a possibility maybe that they're going to tie this Wonder Man to him, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Chris, any feelings one way or the other? Or do you think that'll be kind of messy with where we already are with Vision and Ultron? What are your thoughts?
My hope is to kind of do that connection, just like have it so Vision on his Vision Quest is trying to figure out who he is. That's what I assume this show is going to be about. Is I am kind of the shadow of someone else. I'm kind of the idea of somebody else. I need to self-actualize, and I feel like bringing in the Wonder Man element to kind of fill in some blanks, and then also have it be again, well, am I this guy or am I this guy or am I my own being, is a really interesting thing to look at. It honestly reminds me a lot of how Captain Marvel and Rogue were so intricately tied for so long, of just these not only shared powers but shared memories, shared experiences, that, Captain Marvel resented Rogue for kind of having those experiences because they're hers, and Rogue having this very complex relationship of, I didn't really have this memory. I don't really have, I didn't have this happen to me, but I feel it so viscerally. And I always find that kind of stuff in Marvel so interesting because, again, the superhero stuff is fun and one of my favorite things, and I love it, but it's icing. I like the actual cake to be that, how am I as a human being, or at least as a sentient being? How am I showing up in this world, and how am I viewing myself in addition to being someone who's so super powered or has these ridiculous over the top responsibilities to humanity as a whole? That character study is what's always so fascinating to me about this, and why I always go back to comics. They always do such a good job of this. Yes, everyone's in spandex. Yes, everyone's wearing a cape. Well, sometimes. But it's really, at the end of the day, hey, I want to do a really cool deep dive into somebody's psyche. And I think that's kind of your in and your runway into Vision Quest, is using Wonder Man for part of that.
Yeah. No. I completely agree with you. For those that I'm also seeing that are being like, yo, I'm like 90% sure that they already confirmed Ultron. I am aware of that. I wasn't sure if that was something that I had heard industry wise, or if that was like a well-known thing. So I was kind of trying to tiptoe around it so it wasn't a spoiler. But if it's fully been in the trades and you all know, then never mind. My apologies. Yes, Ultron is going to be in Vision Quest. That is something that is happening. So my apologies for that. Just again, try not to spoil you guys. But yeah, I hope that they do have some sort of tie. I've been very interested in Vision Quest. I mean, I guess a little concerned, just like we haven't seen White Vision now in what, 2020, since the pandemic. So like, I'm also curious how this is all gonna play out one way or the other. But specifically focused on Wonder Man, again, fascinating character, and kind of straddling that life of being essentially, living battery, like superhuman, like Superman light mixed with Johnny Cage is just very fascinating. Yes. And I'm pretty excited to see how that will all play out. But with that being said, y'all, what are you thinking? What do you think of the teaser trailer? Are you about it? Or are you kind of like, do what you think? You know what it is. But with all that being said, let's keep it pushing to the next topic really quickly before we get to our first little break here. And talk about Jonathan Majors, who the Loki star says he can't say anything about Kang's future amid rumors he'll make an MCU return. This is comic book movie reporting with Josh Wilding. In December of 23, Loki and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium star Jonathan Majors was found guilty of one count of reckless assault in the third degree and a charge of harassment as a violation, prompting Marvel Studios to immediately sever ties with him. That came after an altercation with his then girlfriend, Grace Jabari, though Majors has long maintained his innocence. He's since completed a 52-week domestic violence intervention program, and following the low-key release of Magazine Dreams, which once looked like it might land him an Oscar, the actor hopes to mount a comeback. Could Marvel Studios give him a second chance in the MCU as Kang? His take on the time-traveling villain was well received by fans and critics, and we're still waiting for an explanation when it comes to the pivot from Kang to Doctor Doom as the multiverse saga's big bad. At the very least, the hope is that we'll discover how Doom dealt with Kang, especially as Loki and the Ant-Man threequel star established him as a threat to the multiverse ahead of what sounded like another multiversal war. The U.S. Sun spoke with Majors, and he supposedly grinned ear to ear upon being asked about rumors he'll make an MCU return. I cannot say anything about that. He started trying to play coy, but unable to hide his smile, according to the outlet. Pushed on whether there's anything in the works, Majors responded, well, it's a multiverse, so there's always that. Always a lot of opportunity for that, he noted, adding that he is very glad to hear that many fans want him back. Earlier this year, the He Who Remains actor reflected on a member of his legal team breaking the news to him that his time in the MCU had ended moments after he walked out of criminal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. He goes, I'm just going to tell you now, that way you're not surprised and you can start processing it. They fired you, Marvel fired you, Majors recalled. There were days when it was like, is this real? He said of the weeks that followed, it's a heartbreak like I've never experienced, and it just compounded and compounded. No relation to the big guys, DC or Marvel, but a pretty wicked story, Major said of another superhero project he's now circling. I'm glad to be reading. Talking about the resumption of his career, Majors added, sometimes it feels like it's not going to happen, and sometimes it feels like we start next week. Original plans called for the next Avengers movie to be titled The Kang Dynasty. It's since been renamed Doomsday. Though the multiversal saga is set to conclude with Secret Wars, a cameo from Majors, while highly unlikely, is still possible. Doomsday is next December. Secret Wars is December of 27. All right. So I guess my first question to you is, what were your thoughts of Kang as like a character? Like, were you into Kang and He Who Remains and kind of the tease of the Council of Kangs, or are you okay with just kind of moving on, or did you not like it? And then are you cool with him coming back and trying to wrap that up, or do you want to just move on off screen?
Ooh, lots to unpack. So, as a character, as the character Kang, I really enjoyed him in Loki. I thought he was so interesting when we first meet him, so bombastic, so like a good challenge, a good foil to Loki, who always seems so calm and in control. To have somebody who kind of just like throws things at you. The jump on the table, honestly, is one of the things where I was like, oh no, this is a good foil to Tom Hiddleston here. Of just somebody who keeps him on his toes, who keeps the trickster going. What is his next move? I really enjoyed what we saw then later on with one of his iterations in the second season. I thought that was also fantastic and beautifully performed. Regardless of how anyone feels about Jonathan Majors, there's no denying that he is an excellent actor. He is a wonderful, gifted actor. Yeah. I really enjoyed those moments. Kang and Ant-Man, not so much. Didn't enjoy that as much, but mostly because I didn't enjoy the Ant-Man film as a whole. I didn't really enjoy Quantumania. Mm-hmm. My biggest issue with Kang was I kept being told he was a threat. I didn't see him be a threat. Right. And that's my biggest issue with storytelling in general. Don't tell me, show me. Right. And I think Marvel in general, a lot of times, does have an issue with their villains. Aside from Loki and Thanos, we have so many one-off guys. Folks on the internet who have been watching me, you know that Gore the God Butcher is one of my faves. And that was something I was so disappointed in. This is the guy who was baptized in the blood of gods. And we used him for one movie and it was that one? What a bummer. So I feel like we need to go back to having a big through line villain, somebody who is an actual threat. And if they can give me a Kang who does that, I'm not mad about that. I just feel like as of right now, he's not the guy because I haven't seen any of that. Ooh, he's actually a really big bad. I've just seen a large council of Kang that made me go, oh, that's neat. And then a couple cool moments in Loki.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel on the character.
No, I understand that. And I liked He Who Remains, and I liked Victor Timely.
Yeah.
I did not like Kang. There were moments, sure, but yeah, it was definitely wasted. The Council of Kangs, I agree, was very fascinating. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. The Council of Kangs was
boring you?
Yes. Yes. That is exactly
fair,
correct.
Fair. No, I appreciate the honesty. Let me get better. I gotta get better at this job.
But yeah, no, it was high points, but it wasn't consistent. Like again, the main introduction to Kang felt like a waste. And I say the main introduction as in making him a villain in Quantumania and how that went down. It felt like a waste personally. And I think I understand what people are saying about him getting beaten by the ants and all that, and having that discussion. I think what would have been better if the council had not said he was the most powerful of us all. I think people would have been fine. It would have been better if it was like, well, he was the weakest of us. I'm not surprised. That would have actually made more sense.
Yeah.
Then it would have been like oh, that was like when you're watching anime and you're like, oh man, it was so hard to beat that guy. Bro, that was one of his shadow clones. That's not even the real guy. And you're like, oh shit. Like that's what I thought they were doing. And they kind of said the exact opposite. So it nerfed his own lore. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's the only thing that I think why people were like, yeah, we can move on, is because of that. It's not for a lack of performance from Jonathan Majors. He acted his ass off, but the way the character was written was just not written well. The only iterations of him that were written well were in Loki, but not in that movie. And that really kind of threw things to the side. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
For the sake of the way my brain works, I do not want to just hear, have Doom come in and be like, Kang, that fool, I killed him and his entire council. Like that's not.
I hate those.
Like that's
so much. Somehow Palpatine returned. I don't
honestly. I
don't like it.
The dead speak. Like it's just that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So for the sake of just putting at least somewhat of a bow, even if he's only in for a minute, the Kangs are like, okay, we go to invade, and then Doom just does his own little snap of some sort, and all the Kangs disappear. I don't know, but I need a little something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a little something. So
how do you feel about Jonathan? Oh,
I'm laughing because somebody caught wind. They said Winston out here talking about Madara and the Susanoo clones against the 5 Kage. Someone saw me sneaking in there. They saw me just go like.
You just work that in there.
I'm just gonna work that in real
quick. How do you feel about Jonathan Majors returning?
Yeah, so my thoughts about Jonathan Majors returning, I have kind of said the same thing that I have felt anytime someone ends up in these kind of scenarios. He served the sentence that he was given. Like the time has been spent. Whether or not the people want to accept him back is its own choice. People are allowed to feel the way they feel about somebody, but like my main thought process is this: if we're supposed to believe in the justice system and we're supposed to believe in rehabilitation and all that kind of stuff, if this was the time that he was sentenced for that whole situation and it's been served, then he's allowed to come and try and make a comeback, in my opinion. And that, like, it is what it is. And considering also what the specific charges were, yes, I know it was involved with like a DV case, but specifically what had happened and the evidence that came out and all the kind of stuff like that. And, you know, the fact that she dropped any other charges and stuff like that, then again, I think that the sentence was served, and let's see what happens one way or the other. That's just my 2 cents. Like I'm the first one that I get a little frustrated with. Like, I know what Michael Vick back in the day did was horrendous. It was horrible, but he served a very long prison sentence for it. I think it was like 5 or 6 years, something like that. And then on top of that, is one of the biggest advocates for stopping animal cruelty since that happened, and really not only amending his ways, but stopping other people that grew up the way that he did from doing anything like that himself. So that is someone that has truly gone about the process of changing who they are and trying to make the world a better place in a way that he made it a worse place. So like, I'm of the mindset that, he is rehabilitated and, should be given that opportunity. Again, Jonathan served the time. I'm hoping that he's doing other things to try and prevent other scenarios like that. If there's like talks he's giving or things like that, or giving back, I think that'd be great. But the sentence is served. So that's where I'm kind of at with that personally. What about you?
Similar, where I understand that the actual legal court and the court of public opinion are very different, and everyone is absolutely entitled to their how they feel about something. What I always come back to too is there are, and it's not meant to be apples and oranges. It's not meant to be a comparative thing or a suffering contest, but there are so many problematic men in Hollywood who have done what I feel are far more egregious things.
Yeah.
Who did not serve any time, who immediately were in huge tentpole movies.
Yep.
Some of which I'm not going to go see that movie because I personally know what a monster that person is from friends and colleagues and everything who did not get their day in court because of privilege or because of a lack of people backing someone up or whatever. And I understand if individuals are wary of working with anybody.
1,000%.
I definitely have that. I'm sure you have that of just, I know that guy. There are certain like comedic actors who I'm like, oh no, I know that guy sucks. And I'm just like, I wouldn't want to do a show with him.
Yep.
But I come back to what you said too, of time was served. If people feel comfortable working with him as well on top of that, then why not? Because I do firmly believe that people should not be judged on their worst day. Yep. There's obviously exceptions to that rule. There are some people in this world that are capable of just pure evil. And that's just an unfortunate truth of the world we live in. But if you do work to better yourself, if you do work to become a better person, if the person who pressed charges, and that whole case was so messy to begin with, but also then also viewed the changes you made to make amends as worthy, I feel like I should take that person's face value. Of course, this is me just glossing over a lot of ideas too, with like domestic abuse cases. Obviously, a lot of people drop charges for a multitude of reasons. Absolutely. But what I always come back to too is I wasn't in the room. I wasn't in that court. I didn't get to listen to every bit of evidence. I got to see what the news fed me. And if everyone else is okay with it, then yeah.
I get it. And without going too far into a tangent, I again, like Chris said, it's a case by case basis. Like, I have never been comfortable ever giving Chris Brown any sort of second chance to just talk about somebody that did something significantly worse. And there was full evidence for that. And then has had a pattern of continuing to be that person since that point. So I could never rock with him again. The way some people pretend like it never happened is crazy, because it feels like once every 6 to 9 months, some other thing comes out about him in another altercation with another woman or fighting other random people in clubs and things like that, that it's just like, nah, bro, you have not done the work to change. Yeah. So like, what I'm like, that to me is where like you can see potentially a difference there. Whereas
there's one of two guys in my brain when I was talking.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think there are differences on that one way or the other. And so far it sounds like Jonathan Majors has done the work. But again, I understand if people don't want to work with him, and I also understand people if they don't want to support him. I like it. Some people have a line where they're things that it doesn't matter, even if it's the smallest, whatever that's it. I'm done. But yeah, I agree. I think the idea of judging someone on their worst day, if their worst day feels like a pattern of other days, then we're having a different conversation. That to me, again, goes back to the, like, say the Chris Brown example. But if it's like the one thing, it's like, okay, are you genuinely away from that? But it's either here nor there. We will see. Marvel will make the decision ultimately, but we're curious what you think. Are you cool with Kang coming back? Do you want to see that story wrapped up? Are you cool just pretending like it never happened and moving on? Let us know what you think in the comments, man. And as we do that, we got to get into Luke, is it all of these? Is it 2 of those? 4? Which ones, man? Maybe I missed it. I apologize, y'all. That's the most I see it. Never mind. It was in the email. Luke is always on top of it. I'm a terrible, terrible host, and I apologize, folks. But we're going to go ahead and get to our sponsors, man. Check this first one out.
So fall for me, it always feels like a reset. It doesn't matter if it's back to school, the busier routine, shorter days, finding time to cook, it's rough. That's why I love Factor. It makes it so much easier. They're chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals that make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. More variety, more meals. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, and there's no extra cost. From more choices to better nutrition, that is why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine. For me, it's been so beneficial when I need something, whether it's after the gym or in a pinch when I'm in the middle of, oh my God, I'm working, I got to eat something. I was like, but I got to get everything that I need for my body. And it is Factor. So eat smart at factormeals.com/Christian50off. Use that code Christian50off and you get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code Christian50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box. Plus, free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. The offer is only valid for new Factor customers with the code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Get it. You will not regret it.
Thank you so much, Factor. Here's our next sponsor, Raycon.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. It's Raycon's anniversary, and what better way to celebrate than with a deal on the Everyday Earbuds Classic. They're now 20% off, so it's the perfect time to get your hands on these. Reliable, super comfy, and easy to take anywhere. You're going to see exactly why they have been a fan favorite since day one. The Everyday Earbuds Classics are loaded with upgrades. You got active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, so you can pair with 2 devices at once, and an ergonomic fit that actually stays put no matter what you're doing. Everyday features that live up to the name. You got a quick charge. 10 minutes gives you 90 minutes of playtime, up to 32 hours of battery life with the case. Awareness mode, perfect when I'm going to take the dog out or if I'm on the train. It's amazing. Over 3 million customers already love Raycons, and they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. So if you don't love them, returns are easy, so you have nothing to lose. I really dig it. As I mentioned, I'm on the train. I got something to listen to. I got these buds. They're so easy. Pop them in my case, and it's just convenient. So go to buyraycon.com/Christian. Get 20% off the Everyday Earbuds Classic.
Thank you so much to Raycon for that. And then we got one more. This is a Brunt.
I always love getting new boots, and Brunt, man, sent me some great ones. They sent me these boots called the Marin. Man, they're so comfortable. I like the way I look at them. I couldn't believe how comfortable they were. And right out of the box, sometimes you got to wear them in. It was like, it just fit like a glove, as they say. To me, a lot of times I'm wearing these boots and I'm like, okay, I've been wearing them for a month. I'm wearing them 2 months. Put these on right away. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. So Brunt really stands behind what they make. You can wear them to work, and if they're not right for you, you send them back. I don't know any other brand that's doing that. It's a company that believes in their product. It's really the most comfortable boots that I think that I've ever worn. They're comfortable, as I said, right out of the box. There's no long, painful breaks. They're the best. Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up, so they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners will get that $10 off at Brunt. You got to use the code Christian at checkout. Head to bruntworkwear.com, use the code Christian, and you're good to go. After you're going to order that one, they're going to ask you, they're going to say, where'd you hear about Brunt? Do us a favor and tell them it was from this show.
Thank you so much from Brunt and all of our sponsors. Once again, I'm a big fan of Factor and Raycon. I've got a chance to check them out, and now I got to check out Brunt. But Chris, I've got a surprise for you and for everybody. We may or may not have a certain actual host of the show here out here
Dip.
in the streets doing investigative journalism and like that. He ain't done that in a minute, man. Kristian Harloff is. I took Chris out by mistake. What up, man?
There we go.
Perfect time. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
So no, right as you were bringing me in, this loud ambulance just rode right by me, and I was like, "That's gonna be good." So I figured I was just gonna try. I'm walking, like, let me try to walk across the street. I don't know if I'm doing it legally. I think I am. And I'm walking towards the convention center. I just got from Penn Station, and I'm walking there now. I'm actually gonna try to meet up with Coy.
Oh, nice!
Oh,
Great to have a full Capes reunion on here.
Exactly. So I mean, I was gonna try and see if I was able to, stream it or call in from the floor when I was on. I'll try to do that also. And I don't know if there's any fans or anything that are there. They're probably not watching right now. They're probably walking around on the floor. But if they are, it'd be cool to put one of the fans on the show too.
Absolutely. We'd love to do that, man. I'm excited. I'm sad I couldn't be out there, but anything you're really excited about seeing in the Comic-Con today?
I'm just, honestly, I've out of the 15 San Diego Comic-Cons that I've probably been to in my life, I've actually never been to a New York Comic-Con. So
oh wow.
I'm probably just gonna walk around on the floor. I know, like I said, I know Coy's here. Tech Peter's here, who I saw. Josh Horowitz is here, who I saw the other day when I came to pick up the tickets. And then I know Perry's here. So I think it's more or less like running into people that I might have not seen in a while, which would be cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know. I'm curious to see what the floor looks like, like as compared to like San Diego. So I don't know. I'm not going to go. Coy said he's doing like a Post Malone panel or something, which he invited me to. But I don't know if I'm going to be here. I'm only going to be here for like maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. I think I'm not going to spend the whole day here.
Okay. Well, one, if anything interesting comes up, obviously we're here for another hour and 15, something like that. Yeah. So by all means, especially if you find Coy, that would be absolutely crazy.
I don't know how much time he's got, but did you guys speak? What was the story with Majors? Did he just being like, no pun intended, coy about it?
More or less, he was being interviewed, and they asked him, we've heard a rumor you might return. He's like, oh, I can't say anything about that. I don't know.
But wouldn't he straight up say no? Like, if he was like, no, we haven't talked at all. They haven't been, I've been wanting to come back. I'd love to come back, but the fact that he's playing.
I was going to say, I have the story fully open still. So it says the U.S. Sun spoke with Majors, and he supposedly grinned ear to ear upon being asked about rumors he'll make an MCU return. He said, I cannot say anything about that. He started trying to play coy, but unable to hide his smile, according to the outlet.
Right. I really don't think at this point, and I know that, not to make light of anything that happened, I don't think that the audience at this point would throw any kind of fit if he showed up.
I don't think so either. I think there will certainly be some, and but we talked about it a little bit, seeing how a large part of the audience for the show, same thing. They were like, like he doesn't need to be the focus, but I don't think anybody would be concerned about him coming back.
No, that's the major point, is he wouldn't have to be the focus. And they're like, look, okay, look, we're not going to design the movie around him anymore, but if he does a scene to let us kind of know where this all ties up, and honestly to show that Doom's even more powerful than this two.
Right.
That would be beneficial to the story, and I think that it's been enough time removed that I think everybody would be okay with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Also, someone caught when you said it by accident, or unless you're really just going full dad with your puns, that you're like, see, that's the major point.
Oh no. No. I didn't. It definitely didn't make no. I was just kind of marveling at the whole thing, if you will.
Boo! Boo!
Perfect.
I'm glad your signal cut down. That was terrible.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got to do as many bad ones as you can, because we're in New York. We're not in DC.
Oh my God! I wish your signal would fully drop at this point.
I know. It's too, you know,
I don't
do it
know.
anymore,
I'm kind of rooting
you know,
for him. He's a dark horse.
I hate.
I know
all of you. I hate all.
What,
now
puns?
Chris is getting in on this.
It is. It's true. It's no. We should really stop doing it because we're getting too involved in the comic book stuff. And my daughter has softball. I don't know if she wants to use a glove or a bat. Man.
You know what? Boom! He's gone. How about that?
It was really tarnishing our image.
Good one.
I had to get in on it too.
Don't let the power get to your head.
Well, you know, hey, now I see why you do it to me as much as you do whenever you're like, no, Winston's done talking.
Fun. It's really fun to do it, but it's the most fun to do it to if you ever get a chance is to do it to Mike. That's the best.
Well, he does it to himself. His internet just fully goes out. Like,
so that's kind of noisy now, all this stuff. But all right, I'm gonna head. I'm almost there, so I'm gonna head to the convention. I'll try to, if I can, you know, stream in for when I'm walking on the floor. If it works, I'll try it. If not, you know, we'll see.
That's what's up. All right, man. We'll have good luck, have fun, and hopefully we'll see you in Koi in a little bit.
Yay!
All right, that was dope. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to get him in one way or the other because he was worried about the signal, and obviously as you got towards the end there, it did get a little choppy. But we'll see.
I mean, it's still better than Mike's though.
That's still somehow better than Mike's.
Is his router a potato? I just.
It's got to be. That's the only thing that makes logical sense is that it's got to be a potato. All right, we're gonna keep it pushing on to the next story, man. And this one in particular did make me a little bit sad, if I'm being honest. The Peacemaker season 2 ending happened last night. And there's questions about whether season 3 has been greenlit. There's a few spoilers ahead. I'll try and avoid them as best I can. As a matter of fact, I'll do a solid. We normally have the story here so that y'all can't see it. I'll bring Chris back up and I'll just read it myself. This is Josh Wilding from Comic Book Movie. Peacemaker season 2 didn't quite end. You know what? I'm still gonna read the story like this, but we did mention that we were gonna do a spoiler talk discussion about this, and I think we need to. So heads up, spoilers for Peacemaker ahead. So maybe I will put this back up so you guys know that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Sorry, I'm doing it on the fly. We'll do it live. Okay. Peacemaker season 2 didn't quite end with the bang that James Gunn repeatedly seemed to hint at in interviews and on social media. It seems the really, really, really big cameo was indeed Lex Luthor. However, the DCU does have a new heroic version of Checkmate. There's also Salvation, a prison planet discovered with the QUC that Chris is currently the only inmate on, courtesy of the villainous Rick Flag Sr. His plan is to eventually fill it with the world's criminal metahumans. Yahoo News spoke with a DC Studios co-CEO and asked him to explain his decision to bring those two very important elements into the shared world. Well, those are two things that were always a part of this season, Gunn confirmed. So when we sat down, even before I sat down with the writers' room in DC, I had sort of mapped out what I thought the general story was, and two important aspects to that were Checkmate and especially Salvation. Those were things that I had pitched to everybody before we ever came into DC, and then after we came into DC and we met with the writer's room and worked things out a little bit more, he continued, that was always pretty instrumental in the overall overarching story that I'm telling in the DCU, but also connected to it as well. While Peacemaker is a vengeful Rick Flag Sr. guinea pig on Salvation to see if metahuman prisoners could survive there, which seems doubtful based on the noises we hear, Gunn maintains that Chris is an important character, but confirmed that he has no plans for a season 3 right now. This is about the wider DCU and other stories in which this will play out right now. He explained that doesn't mean that there won't be. I don't want to never say never, but right now, no. This is about the future of the DCU. As for Rick's new villainous status, it seems that Gunn's plan all along, despite his seemingly being portrayed in the heroic light in the animated Creature Commandos. We saw a guy in Creature Commandos, which when you first watch that season, he seems like he's the good guy, but he's absolutely not, the filmmaker revealed. He screws up everything again because he thinks he's smarter than Waller, which he isn't, and he falls for this woman and is kind of played by her from the beginning. The fun thing about Rick Flag is he's not this. He's totally imperfect. Still, Checkmate may be there to counter him. You'll definitely see Checkmate carrying through, like they're a thing now, so they're part of what's going to happen, and I think they're going to be really, really good at what they do, Gunn promise. When we see them next, I think their circumstances will be a little different than the startup that they're at now. We didn't revisit Earth X in the Peacemaker Season 2 finale, despite theories to the contrary. Captain Triumph, Keith Smith, didn't come seeking revenge. Gunn claims to have plans for the character, but admits that he hasn't figured out exactly how it's all going to work out. So I have to make sure I can do it. Okay. So, Chris, first, just your overall thoughts about the Peacemaker Season 2. As a matter of fact, I did see someone bring it up. Let me go get my spoiler hat so everybody knows that we're talking spoilers.
Yes.
So that was a nice little reminder. But what were your thoughts about the Season 2 finale? And what are you feeling about where we're kind of going forward with everything? Let me grab that spoiler hat.
Yeah. First of all, Yoshimitsu in the chat. Thank you so much for shouting out the spoiler banjo from Two Filthy Casuals. I appreciate you. Okay. Overall, I don't think I'm as mad as some of you guys are. I think that the hat's so good. Let's go, Texas. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Beware,
yeah, Dallas. Okay. So I don't think I'm as mad as some of you are about this season finale. I'm a little confused. Okay. Overall, I liked it because, again, for me, Peacemaker is a beautiful character study. And I think some things didn't add up. And going fully into spoiler territory, Luke and I were talking at the beginning of the show of where's Keith? Why would we see Keith not die and not have him show up in the finale? Why is Rick Flag so different from his Creature Commandos character?
1000%.
It feels so different. But overall, I do enjoy the idea of an end episode where Peacemaker isn't Peacemaker the entire episode. He's Chris. He is Chris throughout it. And everyone's talking about how special Chris is. And I really love his friends coming together to try and booster him up and make him feel good and not feel like an angel of death. Everything was going too well. So we knew it wasn't going to end on a happy note, but we did end with this cliffhanger that maybe that's what takes us into Man of Tomorrow, or maybe that's something what we open up in a movie, because it doesn't feel like we're getting that season 3. But to leave Chris in Salvation, to not have Keith show up, it feels like this is not a show finale. It feels like a season finale.
1000%.
Yeah, that's one of the things that confuses me. And if you start doing a Southern accent too, my swamp donkey's going to come out so hard. It's going to be too bourbon car.
Look, as long as this is on, I somehow can't help myself.
I'm just going to be like, and the other thing I didn't really like is I love a lot of the things that happen in here. I love that, one of my favorite things about James Gunn as a filmmaker is that soundtracks for him, at least in Peacemaker and for the Guardians of the Galaxy series, his music choices are diegetic. The cast and the people are actually listening to it in real time. I love that they're experiencing that music for real. I love that Foxy Shams is a real band. I had to double check that because they were
you didn't know
at
that?
The end. No, I didn't.
No, because I remember when the show started. That was one of Koi's last shows. He was talking about specifically how Foxy Shazam is one of Gunn's favorite bands. When he was in an interview with him. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Luke. For
there we go.
Alert on there. I appreciate that. He had said that it was one of his favorite bands, and so he was excited to be able to feature them in the show as well. Yeah. And the song similar to "Do You Want to Taste It" and the dance involved, they both really did what anime does as well. Mm-hmm. And you're given just a nice little tease as to what the theme and what the feelings are going to be. God only knows they did have some rough effing years. It was, but yeah.
I wish we could talk about the soundtrack more in this episode, but it's all so explicit, and that is not the vibe for Capes and Cows.
I fully agree. I mean, now I will be honest with you. I was not a fan of the sequel. Excuse me, the finale.
Second season. Okay.
Yeah, the second. I know the season as a whole, I was actually fine. The final episode ruined it for me personally, and it came from. It just came like I loved a lot of the. I loved a lot of the stuff that was in there. Like, I mean, I appreciated the Adebayo saying goodbye to the wife permanently, and really closing that up, and Harcourt and Chris and everything that went there, and getting introduced to Salvation. But I think what the main issue was for me, this did not feel, because we got to the end of it and we didn't really resolve anything. We didn't defeat Earth X that was trying to invade. Keith didn't come and get his revenge, which would it by itself would have been enough to feel like, damn, okay, that's putting a button in on that chapter or anything like that. This just felt like a extended post-credit scene for Superman, and that to me is a problem. It didn't feel like that before. It felt like, wow, this is a really interesting character study, but we're going to get our own story that we're focused on for Peacemaker and let that be connected to the overall. Instead, what it felt like is that the ideas that James Gunn wanted to put in his movie, but he didn't have time to really explore, he spent an additional 8 episodes of a show he already had just to explain it. That's what it felt like. And honestly, that was a big disappointment for me, considering that Peacemaker already was such a wonderful and interesting world and show to explore. If you had treated it more like the Penguin per se, where yes, you had the Batman, but then you ended up where yes, it sits in the same world, but something actually happened to Oz by the time it was all over. He became the new kingpin of the underworld of Gotham by the time it was all said and done. And a lot of people were affected. So you not only set up things that need to be addressed in the next movie, but you gave him his own story and his own thing to focus on. What story did I focus on with Chris other than, man, I'm the angel of death and I need my friends? That's great and all, but you didn't do anything. That to me, whenever you have character study, unless you're doing a Waiting for Godot type play or movie, something needs to happen. The theme and all that is more of a B story, and then you have your A story of what happened. What happened? I don't nothing. This is a Superman problem.
Do you feel like this is? I'm just going to lean into the accent too. Do you feel like this is a kind of a doubling down or a reaction to how Marvel had things happen in TV shows, and then we would watch a movie, and your general audience wouldn't know what's going on? Or do you feel like this was, no, this is exactly what we wanted to do? We wanted to have this really insular story that's going to have a few little ripples that tie into Superman.
I mean, I think it's probably all just gonna tie back. I think it's all just gonna tie back. I honestly think that this was leftover ideas. This truly felt like leftover ideas that were things that he wanted with Peacemaker. I think that they still happen, but I think it was definitely I need to explain a little bit more about alternate dimensions. And fortunately, I have a show coming up in just a minute. So
yeah. Oh, can we talk about Checkmate though? Because I feel foolish that I did not clock that was going to happen. Because Sacha Bardot is part of Checkmate, and the entire time I was like, I don't know why we have Sacha Bardot in here.
Didn't even cross my mind. Did not cross my mind at all.
So silly.
Yeah. Oh man, I will say I'm not entirely. It's been a long time since I've talked like this. I feel like it's kind of slipping in and out just a little bit.
Mine will come out after a cocktail or two. And what my husband does now is he yells Piper no when it. So if I'm like, Logan, can you refill my drink? He's like, Piper no. And I'm like, oh no, she's out.
Oh man, I the funny thing is I had the slightest twang growing up, but when I went to school out here, there were so many Bay Area kids. It slipped out, and I went from y'alls and hella. I mean, y'alls and crunk to hella and Bay Area. Like it was stupid. So yeah, I don't. It's definitely slipping in and out. Not my strongest, but I'm curious. Curious.
Curious.
Yeah,
I don't know.
curious. What did y'all think about Peacemaker? I'm gonna take this damn hat off. Did you enjoy the finale? Were you not rocking with it? Again, I know that people were all over the place in their feelings, that they felt like it was a good setup, but some people feeling it was all set up. Let us know what you think, if you enjoyed it, and what you think the future of the DCU is going to be. And before we get to the next story, Chris, I didn't even mention this previously as far as what we are aiming for.
74.
Well, 74 is the number today, and we're doing so far not so bad. We're at 18. We're hoping obviously that Kristian will be able to rejoin us in a little bit. So if you have anything you want to get out to him, especially on the floor and whatnot, or sending love if he does ultimately find Coy, but just talking to us, man. We've talked about a lot. We've talked about Wonder Man. We've talked about potential Kang return. We talked about this Peacemaker season 2. Let's talk about Doomsday. Apparently, there's a Spider-Man actor that confirms that he's not returning, but that somebody else might. So this is comic book movie reporting again, Mark Cassidy this time. Earlier today, the Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man No Way Home star Andrew Garfield said fans would just have to wait and find out if he returns for Secret Wars. But the actor was a lot more to the point when asked about Doomsday. Garfield was answering fan questions during his video interview with GQ and was asked if he would appear in next year's MCU event film. No, unequivocally fucking no. Denials don't get much more definitive than that, although we're sure some still won't believe him. We haven't forgotten those No Way Home denials, Andrew. The actor was also asked who would win in a fight between his Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's, and Tom Holland's, and he declined to have any fun with his response. He said, "We wouldn't fight. We're friends." Surprised he didn't say we're brothers. The Amazing Spider-Man may not swing by for Doomsday, but what about the original big screen take on the iconic Marvel Comics hero? Scooper My Time to Shine Hello has hinted that we may see Tobey Maguire in the movie. Tobey, no. Tobey, on the other hand, there's been some chatter about Sam Raimi potentially returning to direct his Spider-Man 4 with Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. So this wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. We also heard that Doomsday will feature a number of surprise cameos. Doomsday and Secret Wars were hit with significant delays, December of 26 and 27 respectively. Both movies directed by the Russos, who were known for Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. And then that's just them talking about, we've talked about that ad nauseum as far as how they feel about their movie coming out. So yeah, you hear that. I mean, what are you feeling? I feel like, in all honesty, we don't need to see like the Spider-Man in this. If you want to do it in Secret Wars, I think that's totally fine. But based on, it doesn't feel like we're at Battle World yet, I don't think that would make sense to see them. But what are you thinking, Chris?
I mean, do I need to see the hottest Spider-Man? No. Do I wanna? That's a different question.
Go watch his new movie. Leave
his
Spider-Man alone.
That's fair. Also, if you guys haven't seen that interview with him talking about the glasses moment, I'm just being like, no, it's my stigmatism. It's really great. It's a really wonderful breakdown.
I haven't seen that.
It's so funny. There's I'm trying to Sesame Street my language, so I can't quote it, but it's a really great little interview. I love it so much.
Sesame Street my language. That's well done.
It's just I'm fighting all of my instincts to not swear. But okay, Andrew Garfield is why I started saying on the internet that I don't trust or love anyone, because his whole like, no, I'm not in the Spider-Man movie. No, I'm not in the Spider-Man movie. And then obviously he was in the Spider-Man movie. This one, he does seem a little bit more adamant. And I do think Tobey showing up maybe makes a little bit more sense. I feel like what we want from our Spider-Man, our ultimate Spider-Man, if you will. I think we don't want him in this story necessarily. I do want to see that world he talked about where he stopped pulling his punches and all of that. And I think Tobey's Spider-Man deserves like a really wonderful battle world moment. Not to say that Andrews doesn't. I would like, again, closure with that Spider-Man too. But I feel like having all of the Spider-Men would be a little distracting in this film.
I think so.
I do like the idea of it. And I don't trust that anyone isn't in this movie at this point. But I feel like Tobey, especially with the Sam Raimi tie-in and everything, makes a little bit more sense. And truly, it's just more so because the things we set up Andrew's Spider-Man for, I feel like that kind of deserves more attention paid to it than being in a big ensemble piece, as opposed to giving Tobey Maguire, a great ensemble moment with people. He got his trilogy. He also got to be in No Way Home, and he did a really, really excellent job in all of those. I think he is the Spider-Man that makes the most sense to be in this particular cast with this particular story.
I agree, and I think if you are going to end up with all the Spider-Man and anything else, I think what you end up having instead is a reverse snap moment. So where if something happens where the universe gets blinked out, the reverse snap moment is like the last, like the way that we got to the end of Across the Spider-Verse, where you saw Miles see Prowler version of himself, and we kind of ended there. If what you end up happening is like, we have to stop Doom, oh no, the universe, or whatever, not that cheesy, but like then they wake up and it's if we're following Thor and Doctor Strange and like, what happened? Did we get that? And then all of a sudden you go, oh my God, Earth is gone. Like, did anybody survive? And then we start seeing faces. If that's kind of what's happening, it's like, and you see the Spider-Man and you see Gambit and you see all these random people and they go, I think we're somewhere else. Or if you get the reveal of what Battle World looks like where Doom is in charge, and so if the opening of it is seeing the different worlds, you see Hulkville, you see the Thor battalion, all that kind of stuff. If that's what we're seeing, sure, but I do not think that the Spider-Man need to be front and center here. I think that would 1,000% be a distraction. But that's me. I think I'm on the same page with you, and we're curious what y'all think, man. Are you like, nah, give me more Andrew Garfield and more Tobey Maguire all the time, always? Or do you kind of agree, you know what, let's focus on the other story that we got going on right now, and we will eventually get to it. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we're going to pivot. We were going to do our ranking of the animated shows, but this story just came out, and it is too bizarre to not talk about. So I'm calling an audible here, and Chris doesn't even know. So we're gonna go on a ride here for a second. James Gunn apparently talked to Ryan Reynolds about Deadpool showing up in Peacemaker, but I think we would have had to go through some pretty big hoops. This is an IGN report here. Full Nelson, the season finale of Peacemaker Season 2, is now out in the world, and James Gunn is talking about the process of making the episode, including a woulda, coulda, shoulda cameo, but other than Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool from Marvel. During a virtual press conference that Gunn held this week, in which I attended, this writer Scott Kalura, the writer-director was asked if there were any universes that he wanted to depict in the finale that he didn't get a chance to include. This is a reference to the many dimensions that are accessible via Peacemaker's quantum unfolding chamber. If you don't watch the show, just trust us, it's a whole thing, several of which are briefly glimpsed in the episode. Yeah, I wanted them to open a door and see Deadpool in a room, Left's Gun, and I talked to Ryan Reynolds about it, but I think we would have had to go through some pretty big hoops to do that. He wanted to do it. Of course, since Deadpool exists in the MCU, or at the very least the Fox Marvelverse, which is part of the MCU's multiverse these days, such an appearance would have been confirmation that the DCU and the MCU not only coexist, but could also cross over someday. That said, the legal maneuverings to make such a crossover happen would surely be monumental, so it's not surprising it was a no-go. Gunn also joked that now that he revealed this almost cameo by Reynolds, that's all anybody's going to be talking about now is fucking Deadpool in the other room. I should have never said it, and so that's why we wrote this story. Damn, just a troll. Okay, Chris, how would your brain have responded if at one point one of the doors that Argus opened was Deadpool just like sitting in a chair reading a book, and he looks over and like, I think you're in the wrong universe. Like, damn, that was actually a decent ride.
That was good.
I am shocked by myself.
Okay, now tell me that you want me to buy gin and Mint Mobile. All right.
Well, obviously you need some aviation. I can only kind of do one little like low tone. I had to practice that. That is not one that I normally do, so I got to practice that. But yeah, what would your thoughts have been if we had just opened the door and there was Deadpool?
I mean, at first blush, this is oh yeah, that's all anyone would talk about. And I think my brain would have short circuited for a little bit there. But I think what could have been cool here, and follow me on this journey, is do you remember when Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon sang Somewhere Out There together? To kind of do this idea of we're not like the other late night hosts of days past. We actually are all rooting for each other. And it's just, hey, you're going to vibe with one of us.
Right.
I kind of feel like that could have been this moment of, hey, there's no bad blood between DC and Marvel. Like, we want all comic book movies to do well. If you like one more than the other, no big deal. But, and I do think Deadpool's the character to probably do that with, because yeah, you can have that moment of, well, hey there, like your helmet, real shiny. And then, and do something just weird.
I think it would have been good. I mean, the truth is, I think Gunn still got it in there via Vigilante going, oh, we're the Spider-Man beam. Ah!
Yeah.
So like, it's clear that Marvel exists, at least as a comic idea in the DCU. So I don't think it would have been too far-fetched. I do think, though, because the DCU is still so early in its infancy, I think it would have been a distraction from what they're doing, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm not anti the idea of that crossover, and if any character we're going to do it, Deadpool specifically is the one that makes the most sense. But I think that like the way to just say, fine, we did it, was to say the Spider-Man meme thing and then to leave it alone. And it's funny how in most cases in life, I don't have a problem with like legal stuff being in the way of things happening. You know, it kind of keeps society moving. And then there's other times where my big nerdy ass is just like, why can't you just let me have the things that I want? Now, mind you, I guess it's probably prevented some like, do you watch have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
You know I have. Of course I have.
I'm just double checking. What I don't need is some Nina like Chimera bastard like showing up with Star Wars and Marvel. And that would have been my bigger concern, because you know that we talked about that earlier about how that almost kind of happened a little bit. I can't remember, what was it, Guardians? Like Gunn really wants to just throw all of his toys in the same sandbox. Yeah. And I think there was this idea that in Guardians at some point maybe Darth Vader would have appeared or something like that. I don't need a Nina. I really don't, because it's just
no one needs a Nina, because it just makes us all sad.
1,000%. I don't want to look.
Do
not want to look at James Gunn like Shao Tucker. I don't. So,
Deadpool would be justified, though. He's already somebody who does break the fourth wall. We know has traversed through multiverses, etc. Darth Vader is from a galaxy far, far away, and I don't want him to be a punchline.
Yep. Exactly. So, I mean, but I guess that's the thing when you have Infinity Stones, when you have dimension hopping and all that kind of stuff. Like it's possible. Yeah. But if you were gonna bring somebody over, I guess since you've now made him a punchline, I guess you could bring over Boba Fett, which makes me sad. He was probably my favorite Star Wars
character. Just him flanked by the Vespa kids.
Bro, have the Vespa kids come in and do their random like gun turns, their little spins.
Be great.
Hey, man. Hey. But what do y'all think? Would you have been rocking with a Deadpool, like quick little cameo in Peacemaker? Do you think that would have been too much? Let us know what you think in the comments, man. And y'all, as we get on to the question part of the show, we are doing pretty well. Remember, 74 is the magic number. We're sitting at 20. I'm going to make a impassioned call to you. I brought out the Tanjiro drip. All right. I somehow figured out I could do a Ryan Reynolds impersonation by saying one sentence. And I am going to manifest that we're going to get all 4 past and present Capes and Cows hosts on the show today. So to help manifest that energy, man, to help me with my total control breathing and get my forms right. That's right. I'm learning things about Demon Slayer, y'all. Sending them super chats, man, with your questions, all that shit. Let us know. Support the show. We appreciate it. Do that thing.
And you know this, man.
I became the Husky meme during that entire impassioned speech. I was just like, huh?
Well, the other thing is like I always realize if I'm not careful, and you could tell that like my brain, that like the wheels were turning as I was giving that speech, because if I'm not careful, I'll just start saying things, and there's things I have to be really careful not to get too excitable about. You know what I mean? We talked about this beforehand. So I just, but either way, let's get you know, Luke, you know. But let's go ahead and start this off, man. Gopal coming in, early support. Not sure if I'll get home in time. Well, thank you so much for that early support, Gopal. You are the man. Appreciate you so much. Hey, Mr. CJ coming in with a bunch. I love it. First of all, it says happy Comic-Con Friday, Capes and Cows. Thank you so much, Mr. CJ. Gopal comes back and says also shout out short hair Wilson in the thumbnail. I didn't see the thumbnail. Oh no. Am I rocking short hair in it today? It's not a bad thing. I'm just so curious. Because I haven't had
thumbnail is always me from a headshot like 7 years ago. Oh my God, I was so hot. What happened?
Oh, ooh, but that's also, I'm looking at myself, damn, like heavy in the face though. Shoot, like all the working out I've been doing is not in that photo. So shorter hair, fuller face in the thumbnail, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, what did Luke say? He needs more headshots. All right, I'll send you some more photos, Luke. That's totally fine.
I will too. I just did a session.
Mr. CJ coming back in with the I wish I knew.
I wish I knew.
Thank you so much. And then he comes in one more time and says, say that you guys weren't working and you're just there as fans. What was your con experience? Flipped a coin and it landed on Winston first. I mean, so here's the funny thing, and I don't think people know this. I have been to a number of E3s. I want to say like 2 or 3 E3s. I've been to a number of anime cons. I've actually never been to a Comic-Con, and not even San Diego. I have not been to a Comic-Con before. I know that sounds
Luke
crazy.
Hasn't either.
Oh, really? I
Guys.
didn't know that, Luke. So it's just for me, I mean, the first thing, I think I would just take it all in. I would just be enjoying the cosplay. You know, obviously I've heard about the whole Hall H scenario and obviously all the various booths and getting to, you know, I know a lot of people in the industry as far as like acting goes. So the voiceover people, I know you would know more, but the ones that I know, it'd be cool to catch up with them and things like that. I would just be taking it all in. I think the main thing for me would be cosplay, trying to figure out who I would go as, and then getting as many different pictures with other folks and stuff like that. So that's me. What about you though? If you weren't going to work, if you were just going as a fan, what would be your main experience?
Man, well, I've never gone to New York Comic-Con. I've done San Diego Comic-Con tons and tons of times. Last year I got to be a panelist for the first time, and it was the best, and it was so amazing.
Nice.
But I got to check that off of my bucket list. But as a fan, what I like doing the most is for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty claustrophobic. And so large crowds a lot of time really, really set me off, and I have a hard time navigating them. And so I usually really enjoy getting to, you know, the floor early so I can try to see everything. I'm super fortunate that a couple of my friends usually have booths, so I can kind of sneak in that way and go, I get to see everything before it's all crowded.
Yeah.
But what I love to do is I actually love seeing everything outside of the convention. I love the pop-ups. I love going to different like local restaurants and bars and seeing what their Comic-Con themed cocktail is. I love going to the different like cosplay karaoke nights. I think all that stuff is so fun. And I think a lot of people sleep on that because they think, oh, you know, if I didn't get a ticket to a comic convention, I'm not going to be able to experience it. At least in San Diego, if you take the train out there or drive out there or whatever, you get to still experience it so much without even stepping foot in. And that's where I think you get to really interact with other fans and have a really great time because you're just hanging out with people who love the same stuff you do. So that's usually my MO is let me hang around outside, see what kind of weird stuff's happening, see who are the immersive actors who are promoting a new show or comic book. And that's where I like to hang out.
Yeah, I got a funny story, and I'm curious if there's some backlash comes out of it. I don't think it will actually happen, because I know that this person doesn't watch the show, but it's funny enough that I'll do it, and we'll see what happens. So this past summer, we were headed out to our annual trip that some friends and I go to Palm Springs and we hang out. And a buddy of mine who doesn't live in LA anymore was in town, and he wanted to go to AnimeCon before heading out to Palm Springs. So I was like, oh yeah, we'll swing downtown and we'll come and pick you up real quick. And so he was there for like about half a day. It was a hot day, man, but he was dressed as you watch Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
I actually have not seen any Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. So there's a character that badass character, like a kind of villain / anti-hero that's in there. I can't remember his name, but he has like this kind of worm creature and he pulls like weapons out of it and all this kind of stuff. My homie looked dope as fuck, like had the outfit down pat, and it's pretty simple. It's like kind of like some Aladdin parachute-esque pants, the little worm thing, and then he was just wearing just a black t-shirt. But my man's is jacked and it's real crowded and it's real hot. So my man's was sweating. And so he gets in the car, and all I could think to myself is, oh my God, you have been at a convention. Like, my man's did not smell very good at all. But I didn't say it out loud because I didn't want to embarrass him. I'm going to say it now because I didn't say his name. And again, he don't watch the show. If he somehow is watching, I'll never hear the end of this because we have a video call, like a group chat video call every Friday where we take shots. I will get screamed at for that story. How come you didn't tell me I smelled like ass? But I just figured since he doesn't watch, it's fine. I can go ahead and
no, you're safe. You're safe. Oh, the worst thing at con is when you take pictures with people, and because you're all so sweaty, you all get like sweat prints on your shoulder. Oh, so gross.
Oh yeah, definitely. And oh yes, I do see that, Luke. I'm gonna announce that in a second. But yeah, I see someone go, well, did you roll the windows down? I was like, yes, but I had AC, so now I was hot myself. I was like, because I couldn't run the AC because it was gonna blast the funk through the car. So we had to roll the damn windows down and be hot too. It was terrible. He even asked. He goes, y'all don't want to use the AC? I said, no.
Oh no. Okay, I'm this is a call right now. I have almost no sense of smell, right? If I ever smell, you have to tell me.
Okay.
You have to tell me. I live in fear of it. My best friend in the world, Megan, what's up? She'll do like a little lean in at like convention stuff and go, babe, you got to go reapply. And I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you. I don't want to be that girl.
It was one of those things where like because the funny thing was I picked him up so then we could go to the bigger car that we were all getting into carpool out there. So I was just like, okay, he's not in the heat now. And maybe it'll just like, this will give us some time to air out. And when we got to the actual car, he actually was fine. I think just the immediately walking through the heat out of the con, like all that's what that was. And then he was good after that. But damn, for that first like 15 minutes, I was like, and the only thing like worse, and like I'll get on myself, like I'm not trying to come up a boy like this, because I started working out again. One of the things that I don't know if people knew this, but like your sweat glands, there's kind of like different areas that you actually sweat out of whenever that happens. One is stress induced, and one is like physical labor type induced scenario. So like if you're just straight up, I'm stressed all the time, that is a different way of sweating. You're still using the same area, but a different way of sweating than I'm running, I'm heavy lifting, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So the first time I went to the gym, I'm like, and it's been like months. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, all right, cool. And I'm gonna put on like my mesh top just so I can get some air, show the guns off a little bit, whatever. And I start going and I'm doing the bench press and I finish out and I'm about to go to the next thing and I go, ugh, it smells like ass in this gym. And then I stopped walking for a second to like sip some water. I said, I smell like ass in this gym. And then it was like, oh my God, I have to do every machine so fast and get out of here before anybody notices it. So it's not just you, friend, if you're watching. Everybody smells sometimes, man. Case of cows. Brought to you by Speed Stick.
Well done.
Well done. Absolutely well done. All right, let's go on to the next super chat. Mike Joyce, Peacemaker season 2. What a joke. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go so far as to fully throw out the whole thing, but it did ruin the season for me personally. I feeling like we didn't really close anything out did ruin the season for me. And you know, Chris spoke on that too about how you liked it, but like you still also felt like it was lacking to end.
Yeah.
Don Ronaldo McWhiskey. Cheers to you, Mr. A. Marshall, on your gains in the gym. Thank you. I'm working on it. I ain't quite got that Christian level of guns yet, but we working on it. Post 1 rep maxes and keep your cardio a secret and be like, I'm just blessed with great genetics. That's funny, man.
That's a good plan.
That's funny. I'm the plan is I never officially got to 2 plates when I was lifting seriously in my 20s. I was like 10 pounds shy of being able to do 2 plates. So that's the goal. It's gonna take some time, but I want to get back up there. Zeki, hey to you too.
Hi.
Hey, Mr. CJ, good luck, Swaggy Blurred. You got this. I wish I knew. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. I don't know what thing you're specifically wishing me luck on, but I'll take luck on all of it. Thank you. Beto Power, a Peacemaker finale felt like a CW show. By far the worst episode of the series thus far. Not sure if anything meaningful happened this entire season. Yeah, I think the only meaningful thing is the fact that Lex already has an out via Rick Flag. I think that's pretty much it. And that's, to me, again, why this felt like Superman epilogue. It didn't really feel like it was standing on its own too. And anything additional to kind of add, Chris?
No, I mean, I don't want that to be the end of the series.
I agree.
If that's my biggest qualm.
I think that's the other thing that would make this go down a little bit easier. If we knew if season 3 was announced, I think people would have been more forgiving. The fact that there is nothing on the timeline and he has actively said it's not ruled out, but that is not a priority. I think a lot of people were like, so that's how you want to end this story? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, we'll see them around, but like, I don't know about all that, man. So Mr. Right Crappen Shits. Going cross-eyed listening to you guys. I'm soldering in new capacitors in my old Sega Genesis. Have a great weekend, everyone. Or soldering new capacitors in my old Sega Genesis. Wow, that's cool. I don't know how to do that.
Mr. I, you're wicked smart. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Damn. Armada, new Mobb Deep album is out, and Battlefield 6. Oh, damn. Battlefield and Mobb Deep. What is this, 2004? That's crazy. That's nuts, bro. Dope. I'll have to check it out. I do love me some Mobb Deep. Gregory Dopp, is Christian looking hard for a slice of New York? I mean, you know him. If he's out, actually, I take that back. I don't know if Christian would actually be out trolling for pizza anymore. As hard as he's actually gone in on his gains and his health. He used to fiend after pizza, but I don't know if he's like that anymore. You guys have got to ask him next time he's either when he comes back here or something like that, because I'm so curious.
Yeah.
Armada, the new Sora software is insane. Yeah, I've not been a big fan of a lot of the stuff. Like the fact that poor Zelda Williams had to straight up put out a release and be like, stop sending me fucking AI of my dad. This is not anywhere something that he would want, let alone you are not doing anything positive for me either. And it's been awful what they did it with Martin Luther King, and his daughter said to stop doing it too. They did it with Malcolm X. They've done it with so many people. There was one that pissed me off of like Kobe playing 2K and they'd be like, I'm gonna skippity toilet, blah blah. And I'm like, just come on, man. I don't know how you feel about I know you feel about AI in general, but specifically about them doing this to revive celebrities and do that shit. I don't know where your mind's at on that.
Oh, I hate it. I think it's disgusting. And I understand that there are some actors, especially per the new SAG agreements, that are selling their likeness or licensing their likeness for when they pass. And I understand, like anything in life, it's up to the individual to decide those things. But there is something so truly haunted about reanimating somebody, and I just don't think it's right or good or okay. But I understand if there are people like James Earl Jones licensing his voice. Hey, I understand why he would do that.
Right.
Wouldn't be me. And I
Nope.
definitely wouldn't send Zelda Williams videos. Like that's such an odd
disgusting
level of, that's so inappropriate.
Like,
just use your common sense, folks. Your common decency.
Man, seriously, I mean, it's part of the reason why I was a big fan. I remain a big fan of Black Mirror. And there have been stuff like that of like, oh yeah, I revived my wife as AI, so my wife didn't go anywhere. But then like because I can't remember. I think it was maybe it was the husband, but there was definitely an episode where she could not let go, so she revived. They could not let go. I can't remember if it was a man or a woman, and so they revived the spouse as AI / a robot, and it was just really, really creepy.
Was that the Domhnall Gleeson episode?
Let me see, maybe. Black. Anybody knows that remembers it?
Yeah,
Black
throw it in
Mirror,
the chat if you remember.
Revive husband. I feel like it was reviving the husband. Yeah, Be Right Back. It was Be Right Back. It was Gleeson and Haley Atwell. Oh, that was Haley Atwell. That's right. And what season was this? This was season 2, episode 1. And she made a full synthetic reimagining of him, and then it was just weird because it's not real. It was like diary entries and stuff like that, but at times was just very artificial. And I think she ended up like because it was whatever clone, that you ended up with a scenario where they did have his DNA, so she did have a baby by the thing. It was a lot, but it was like, I think we need to watch more like Black Mirror with all this AI shit, like not just from this story, but from all of it. Hell, I keep talking about how that episode, the first episode of Black Mirror, the most recent season with Rashida Jones and Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And talk about everything as a streamer now. That is spot on. Alan Smithy, yo, Winston and Chris, Google Matlock actor fired. We did. We are aware of it, and that is awful. Not the firing. If the fire needed to happen, the fire needed to happen. I'm not talking about that, but I mean, what is tied to that? I'll just leave it at that. We don't need to go beyond that, really. Harv's K. I thought EGOT nominee Danielle Brooks killed it in the final episode of Peacemaker. And are we sure that big cameo wasn't actually Nielsen? Did I forget where Nielsen? What?
Nelson was the band, so the episode's titled for Nelson. And
Nelson.
Then,
Sorry. Say no. Yes. Yes. I think both that and Foxy Shazam were the cameos. I think those are the big cameos. Is having both bands there and playing and all that kind of stuff for sure. Go, pal. Cheers for the return of the spoiler hat. And I'll check back tomorrow to see what y'all are saying. My old ass goes to bed too early for these 9 p.m. premieres. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. If I was in a different time zone, I wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah. No, totally get it. The G-Man, Chris, thanks for the Texas twang. Too bad that Tulsa King gig didn't work out. You would have been great. Were you auditioning for Tulsa King?
I did before everything obviously came out. I was reading for like prostitute number 1, not number 2, number 1. That's right.
Hey, yo, the running joke with that. So that same friend I was kind of clowning, the running joke in that group chat. And whenever I have a big audition, they go, "Okay, crackhead number 2, you got this." Like,
mine is usually like, "Which version of a best friend are you playing? Do you have to wear glasses today?" Because the line I say the most is, "I just don't think he's good enough for you." And I hate it. So every time I get to play like a prostitute or something, I'm like, "Yes, this is so much better."
You go ahead. Go ahead. Be there's some holes on this string. There's some holes on this string.
And it's me.
Yoshimitsu.
And that's why they don't cast me, because I do that.
Hey, we all got to pay the bills. Yoshimitsu, I want Miles more than either classic Spider-Man. I do too. I very much want Miles. I think that would be awesome. Here's hoping, man. It sounds like that's what Tom is hoping to usher in himself with the end of this trilogy as well.
Yeah.
So that we'll see. Haskell, hey, via Snyder, Marvel's X-Men will reportedly be released on May 5th of 2028. That would make sense as it is the 20th anniversary of the MCU and Iron Man. Oh yeah. That'd actually be a really cool date to do that and really kind of start over, because especially with December of 27 being Secret Wars, that would be right on time. So I would support that. Chris, how did you like Infinity Castle? No spoilers. Yes, no spoilers.
Oh, I enjoyed it more than the people I saw it with. It does feel like it's just kind of a lot of boss fights tied together.
Okay.
Ultimately. But I feel like some of the issues that other people had, and I understand this too, is it didn't end on a satisfying note, because what they do with these movies a lot of times too is this is going to be released as a season probably later, where it's like, here's this like chunk of this arc, here's this other chunk of this arc. And so we get some really devastating things that happen and then some really gratifying things. But we don't end on a note of like, great, we've like moved forward in this story. It's just we're still in the same kind of scenario. So I had an issue with that. So right now I'm in a place of, oh, I'm glad I saw it in theaters because I got to see it with so many people who cosplayed, and it was really fun to be in that environment with everyone. But I do kind of wish I almost waited so I could binge the whole season almost.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I've actively been doing everything I can. The one problem is the screener that I go to, the movie theater I go to for screeners is this Burbank AMC, and they still have all of the Demon Slayer giant posters in the garage. So I'm trying to actively, as I'm getting to know these characters, not look at the posters and not study it too much, because I feel like it's already, knowing how far along it is, this idea of seeing some characters, I'm like, oh, so these people will probably just be alive then this entire time, or nothing's going to happen to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing about being so far back. I would assume the main character most likely would be around, but everybody else, I'm like, I don't want to know that. And also, this person is conveniently missing. Is this person going to be gone? Like, it's been one of those weird things where I wish I could just binge it. And I'm enjoying doing the reactions with you guys. Don't get it twisted, but because we can't just sit and watch it all straight up. I'm just like, oh God, please don't let shit get ruined for me.
Yeah.
Yep. The G-Man though comes in. Accent challenge accepted, Chris. Cajun.
Oh no. Okay. I'm about to make a name for myself. Cajun's so hard because of the Creole influence, and those are also two different things where your THs become Ds a lot of times. So like the word good then becomes good, basically. It's not a strong one for me.
I'm make a name of myself here, boy. I can't. Cajun is very, very hard.
It's a very tricky one, because also my accent, even though I'm from Houston, ends up more like East Texas. Because I'm a head speaker. I talk with my people pleaser voice most of the time. I talk up here so you all don't think I'm a B. So I go up this way. And so for Cajun too, you got to drop down lower a lot of times too. So it is in that kind of almost boomhauer placement, but with those kind of like sing-songy. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that Cajun voice, but I want to try my best. Like it becomes more mumbles.
I'm impressed. Impressed. It's better than what I can do. Mike Cat, think there will be any worthwhile NYCC info? I mean, so far the Wonder Man teaser I think was interesting. I don't know, because there's nothing else. Excuse me. I don't think there's anything else superhero wise this year, right? We're done after Peacemaker and Gen V.
Yeah, because when does Lanterns come out?
Next year. I guess Wonder Man is the only other thing. Wonder Man is December.
Okay.
And you did the teaser, so I think that might be it. Maybe if they want to release a teaser for Lanterns, because I believe Lanterns drops in the spring, I can maybe see that, but I don't know. I don't know. David D, give me your best Sandy Cheeks impersonation. All right, you got this, Chris, because my register isn't going to be high enough.
I'll be over there faster than a barefoot jackrabbit in an oil slick in August.
Okay, that was actually
way
pretty
up
good.
here.
That was actually really good. I'm very impressed. Yo, take her VO classes, y'all. She's gonna plug it all later. Take her VO class.
I got bills to pay. Please do, you guys.
Luigi Cherry was laughing and says Mike's internet has been better. I'll believe it when I see it, and I don't normally see it because he's stuck frozen. So there's that. Vicious Soldier. Chris, please watch JJK before season 3 comes out. It's so good. Yeah, you should watch JJK.
It's in my queue. It's one of those ones where it's like, I can't believe I haven't watched this.
Yeah.
And I need to. I really need to.
It's so good, man. So you would love it. You would absolutely love it. And especially the Shinjuku incident. Oh my God. Brain breaking.
Okay.
It's part of season 2. You'll see. It is.
Heck yeah.
My jaw just the whole time. Hey, Mr. CJ, gotta hit the theme. If everyone reunites like a WWE big return. Oh, 1,000%. I'm hoping that Kristian gets back in here with Koi before it's all said and done. And keep sending them in, y'all. We're getting closer. We're at about 34 now. So we are 40 away from beating this week's record, man. Capes and Cows brought to you by Axe Body Spray. God damn. Jake, without season 3, there's just a huge question mark. If they continue these character stories in other projects, casual movie audiences will be confused. I fully agree. And let alone if people that are just Peacemaker fans don't want to visit the other stuff. They don't get a satisfying conclusion either.
Exactly.
As to what's going on. So I kind of agree with that. Because like if you just say watched individual trilogies of like the MCU, at least kind of starting off, there's a lot that you're going to miss if you don't watch the through lines in the Avengers films and all that. But you can watch the 3 Iron Man films, and be okay. You know what I'm saying? You can watch the 3 Thor films and the 3 Captain America films and be okay. Again, there's some stuff where you're kind of reaching, but they're self-contained enough that you could do it and be okay with that trilogy. I think there would be an issue if you don't wrap up the story of this Peacemaker crew in Peacemaker, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
What else? Luke James 1 saw Dead of Winter, loved it. Go Nerds. It's good, right? Did you see it?
What is Dead of Winter?
Emma Thompson. She's in a movie where her husband has died, and she goes to bury him on this frozen lake, like to spread his ashes on this frozen lake that they used to fish together. They're like young sweethearts and have been married for years and years and years and years. And when she gets there, she witnesses a crime. I won't say more than that, so I don't spoil it for you. But essentially, it's then her in the middle of this like frozen lake tundra with like nobody else around except for the people doing the crime. And she's trying to essentially stop the crime from happening. It is so good.
That sounds amazing.
So good. Judy Greer is in it. Judy Greer crushes as one of the villains. As one of the villains, she is so intimidating. And I was like, damn, other than the fact that this is a smaller movie, like she needs to get some sort of award nominations for this. But
that's
definitely
awesome. Okay.
Check it out.
Dead of Winter. I will check that out.
Yoshimitsu coming in again. Watch the Max Headroom movie from the 80s. They predicted AI recreations of actors, quick cut ads, and amazingly 80s nostalgia. Also super funny. Okay. I'll check that out. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Max Headroom.
No.
Oh. The G-Man again. Chris, I'm seeing TV ads with Chris car types, including one by a big insurance company.
Oh, Highlander rules. There can only be one. Get rid of them.
You have to go get rid of them.
I got to go get rid of them. No,
you honestly, have to hunt them.
And so I shall. I won't, internet. That is not. I won't. No, honestly, that makes me feel good because for those of you who don't know, I took a really big break from on-camera acting, like a really, really big break. I had a manager who told me that they didn't know what to do with character actors and they wanted to focus on CW model types and dropped me. And I have this horrible thing when people like do stuff like that to me where I just go,
you don't know what to do
okay.
with character actors. Is that
Right?
what they said?
They said we don't know what to do with character actors. And the CW comment too. I was like, they've never made money.
First of all, Chris, clearly that person.
Cock?
That's the first thing. And the second thing, you don't know what to do with character actors.
Motherfucking Batman.
Like it's easy. What are we?
Yeah. Right. Where I was like, I don't know, get me jobs because there's so many. But so I took a really big break from on camera where it was just like I got rid of the rest of my team where it was they don't really know what I'm about. And I focused on voiceover, which obviously has been super good for me. And I've really enjoyed that. But I just did headshots with Leah Hubner over at Hubert Headshots. And I'm going to put myself back out there. So it's really encouraging to hear that there's a lot of Chris Carr types working because maybe that means that the OG Chris Carr will work.
No, I love that. I'm it's funny because the one thing that I will say is like the industry, at least on camera side, has been kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
So like even to that point, and I've said this before, I normally was pulling like 3 or 4 theatrical auditions like a month, pretty regularly. This year, this film that I was telling you about, I want to say this is like audition number 6 or 7, and it's October. You know what I mean? So like the numbers have just been down. Obviously, anybody that's already like at name status, they're doing fine. But like anybody that's kind of like on those lower or mid rungs, it's
the
been
journeyman actor.
Yeah, you know. But yes, there have been a lot of commercials where same thing I've seen plenty where I was like, oh, Chris will make bank doing this.
Thanks.
Yeah. Armada, I liked Peacemaker season 2, but story near the end didn't have much closure. But to only set up what's likely in season 3, maybe funnier than season 1 for me. I think it was funnier. Definitely was funnier. Yeah, that's the problem. We don't have any guarantees of a season 3. And I like my season stories to conclude, but you can tease me for what's going on. What did we ultimately conclude here? You know what I mean? We didn't. The only thing that changed, I guess, is the 11th Street gang is even more 11th Streety. Like that's like that's it. You know what I'm saying? Chris wasn't really with them beforehand. He would kind of drink with them a little bit, but he was off doing his own thing, and now he's also not with him. I don't know. Yeah. What happened? G-Man, Chris, Georgia.
Georgia is okay. So in Southern accents, in a lot of dialects, there's rhotic versus non-rhotic. Non-rhotic means that you don't hit those R's as hard. So Texas, like Winston and I are, we hit those R's of just, like we're going to go do that and we're really going to get in there. So then Georgia is going to have, honestly, like they talk about in The Office, it's more like that molasses falling out of your mouth, where it's basically we take our standard RP, our received pronunciation British, and we let that melt in the Savannah sun. So if we start up here of doing kind of a Hermione Granger, very basic London, and then we go down and we just kind of let that relax a little bit more, that's when we're going to have that little Georgian come out. And that's when we sound like a refined Southerner.
That
was fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic.
It helps a lot that my husband's a dialect coach. Like it's very, very nice to just pop out and be like, wait, what are the rules of this one again? What do I have to remember? And so we also were obnoxious to watch television with because we stop stuff and pause it in a very different way. to go back and do okay, so how did that dialect happen? Like Great British Bake Off, when we watch this tonight, it's going to be us constantly pausing it for me to like try to work on my Northern English because I suck at that kind of like Sean Bean voice.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, in order to do Georgia, you start here, mustard, and then it comes down into a draw. Mustard.
Yeah. We're going to take that R and we're going to throw it away.
Mustard. And you know this, man.
And now you do.
Oh, this really is turning into blurs. Like, not that Kristian doesn't do it, but Jesus, we just be throwing in these little clips left and right. That's my thing. Go Pal has to be Mando. No, aren't they already a sponsor?
I wish I knew.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. That one was Luke. Thank you, Luke. But I don't know. I don't know what that means, Gopal. I'm sorry. Getting closer, y'all, up to 41. Come on, we can do this. Mike Cat, think we'll ever get an Image cinematic universe?
Ooh, I don't know if we'll get a cinematic universe, but there's definitely obviously really great stories to tell in Image Comics. I mean, I'm trying to think of something though that is like.
So let's see, just so we know everything, because I wanted to pull it. Everything includes Spawn, The Walking Dead, Kick-Ass, Invincible, Jupiter's Legacy, Witchblade, The Max, Savage Dragon, Descenders, Saga, East of West, Monstrous, Radiant Black, and Stray Dogs. This is just some of the best known publications. It says it's not all of them, obviously.
Well, and are a lot of those Image titles tied to each other too? Because I don't feel like Invincible and Saga like intersect.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like everyone's kind of in their own little universe.
Well, let's see. I do see here on Wikipedia something about the Image universe. Yeah, the IU. Okay, so the independent creator, blah, 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 blah. Image universe has a shared setting with the primary versions populated by a number of superheroes and villains, including Supreme, Invincible, Omni-Man, Spawn, Angela, Adam Eve, the Savage Dragon, Gert, Bomb Queen, Tony Chu, and Witchblade, as well as incarnations of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay. Damn, I'm trying to think of Spawn fighting Invincible. That's crazy. Huh. I kind of would want to see that. I would kind of want to see that. Armada skit. Can we get drunk Chris convincing drunk Winston to go to Comic-Con, but Chris refuses it for Potter World at Universal?
Like right now?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We can do it real quick.
Winston, I can't believe you never go before. I can't believe you never gone before.
Why would I spend?
It's an Uber ride away.
Money?
It's an Uber ride away.
But I don't. But why would I spend money on Iron Man outside? I have Iron Man at home. I don't need Iron Man outside.
Because of the ambiance, man. You're there, and all the roofs have snow on them. There's snow on every roof. You can get so much butter beer in both ice cream and a coffee, or as a soda. You get a wand that you can point at stuff. It goes.
That's the Comic-Con.
Yeah.
If I just want that, why don't I just go to City Walk?
Because if you're at City Walk, you just go into the park, you doof. It's right there.
No, that's not, Chris. That's the scary horror nights. That's not the Comic-Con.
No, it's you go there and it's all the hogshead and the board goes and you get beer.
No, it's a horror nights. I know because I don't go over there. It's too.
You just gotta man up, buddy, and get your cloak.
Eyes, bitch.
And scene.
Yeah, thank you. Gen X Nerd, the PM finale took me back to how I felt watching the Lost finale. Huge letdown. Rick Flag, what a joke. Good luck with your auditions. Thank you, Gen X Nerd. I appreciate that. Yeah, it just left me feeling kind of empty. Just left me feeling a little empty personally. This is amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I forgot we used to do that a lot on SEN Live. Did you ever do SEN Live before?
No.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of like little sketches and whatnot. I forgot about that. That was fun to do a throwback.
I love a bit.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good bit? I mean, poor Brett. That we farmed Brett for so much because of the characters. As a matter of fact, I screwed up, guys. I apologize. What I should have done is this. If we were gonna do that whole drunken bit, hold on, wait for it. What I should have done was this. So this is every time this music would come on, we would get drunk Brett. This is actually the same roadcaster that we had, y'all. So this was the music that would play. Any SEN fans would remember. All right, let's see. Okay. Armada ate some wings after that loss last night. Yeah. Hey, cry Eagles, cry, bro. Yo, I can't remember. Are you a football fan?
No.
I should have brought it up to Kristian when he was here because he's obviously a Giants fan. I have been saying, and I've not been a hater. I'll keep it quick. The Eagles don't look that good this year. They don't. I understand that they're reigning champs, and yes, they're winning, but they're winning by the skin of their teeth, and they're tending to win from special teams, not offense or defense. Well, the New York Giants whooped the dog shit out of them yesterday. And the funniest part is you have two rookies at quarterback and running back for the Giants. One of them looks like he eats crayons daily. And the way watching him play it's like watching Forrest Gump when he was playing for Alabama, playing running back.
No.
Yes, he is definitely just like and just running through people. And even in his interviews, he's just like, hey, I'll get the ball, I'll run the ball. And he like headbutts his teammates. It's like it is the funniest thing in the whole world, but he's really, really good.
That's ridiculous. I love it.
That got you fully by surprise with the crayons.
Yeah. Yes. That was amazing.
Eclipse Mount Rushmore of voice actors. Go.
Oh, Steve Bloom.
Yes.
Tara Strong.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name?
H. John Benjamin.
H. John Benjamin for sure. Why can't I think of who is Joel in The Last of Us? Who's in everything? Who's incredible? Chat, help me out. Why am I blanking? No, the voice actor who did the Troy Baker.
The game.
Troy Baker.
Yes.
Yes.
Rushmore. That's 4.
Yeah.
Unless you if you want to take somebody off. Mark Hamill. I would put Mark Hamill in there.
Mark Hamill
too.
would be in there too. Oh gosh, Chad is doing great ones. Nolan North, Kevin Conroy.
Oh yes, of course, Kevin Conroy, Keith David, CCH Pounder.
Oh my gosh, I just found out. I'm not gonna reveal her. One of my students dated Keith David, and it's all I ever want to talk to her about. She's now happily married. She's incredible. But I brought up his voice, and she was like, we dated. And, I need to know everything.
That's so funny.
Man.
Okay, what else? Kingport Cow, can you do an East Tennessee accent?
Ooh, I would have to double check some of the specificity of that because I think there's a little Appalachian influence there. And so it's probably going to be very like pronounced A's. And then we might have that non-rhotic R thing happening in there too, but I'm not sure. I'd have to do research. You're stumping me, King's Protocol.
That's actually pretty good. Luke can do West Tennessee, but that's just because I live there. Oh, there you go. that makes sense. The G-Man, need Chris in turning into your parents' ads. Yes.
There'd be no acting.
But that's exactly why you're perfect for it.
It'd be so good. I literally, one of my headshots that I just like put for my commercials, I was like, oh yeah, I look like I'm so desperately trying to be somebody's mom.
Those
but like somebody my own age.
Those commercials are genuinely hilarious.
I love those. I love them so much.
Whoever came up with that producer or that writer, I hope they're making a lot of money off that idea.
Yeah.
Mando's a deodorant. That's right. We did have Mando for a while. I thought you were talking just because we were talking about Boba Fett around when that came in. That's why I was confused. But yes, I do remember Mando, the deodorant brand. I don't think they have been a brand recently. Maybe they are. Not on any of the shows that I've done, but maybe on some throughout the rest of the week. But I do remember now. Thank you for reminding me, Go Pal. Armada, y'all ever heard of Atlas Comics, precursor to Marvel?
Yes.
I've not.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them as a like what they did. I really only know them from research, from when I used to do like deep dive videos of like, yeah, this comic first started over here, and then Marvel acquired the rights to them.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I did not. Oh, okay. I kind of knew this because of the original Human Torch. Yeah. Which I got it. Which wasn't Johnny. It was like a robot or something like that.
Yeah. It's weird stuff.
Yeah. And then you had the Submariner and Captain America. All three of them originated from there, from Atlas. Interesting. Huh. I knew there was something. I just thought that was already Marvel, but I guess that's what you're saying. They were rebranded as Marvel in the 60s. Yeah. So that's definitely sponsors for Dan Murrell. Okay, so they may be here too. Okay. I'm not sure though. Yoshimitsu, favorite show of the week. You two are awesome. Thank you, Yoshimitsu. Thank you. Appreciate that. Armada, Anaconda Brett was a moment, dude. I don't know if the Anaconda music is still here. Hold on, let's see. I'll play everything. No, yeah, this was Anaconda Brett's music. Oh yeah, and then you gotta go on, and there's a snake is coming. Like it was, I can't even. I can't even do. It was wild.
I can visualize it so easily.
It was a moment for sure. Holy crap. Mr. I Crap It Shits, Winston. Cam Scottaboo reminds me of Peyton Hillis when he's with the Browns, New York. Better enjoy him now. His play style will lead to a short but memorable career. 1,000%. This is a small, like, I want to say he's maybe 5'7". He just compared to everybody else. This is a small white boy, stocky, and I literally mean he looks like a bowling ball gremlin on wheels, just bouncing through people and like either bouncing off them or through them. Like, he is fascinating to watch. And every time he scores, he loves to just do backflips and cartwheels, which I'm also like, that's cool. But like, you're clearly young because you do that one too many times and you land on your ankle wrong and your coach is going to whoop your ass. Or you're going to lose a lot of money because you end up rolling your ankle trying to stunt. But he is fascinating. He is so good. Oh.
You are killing me with the descriptions today. This is great. I love it. I love it so much.
And the last one for now, the G-Man, Dolly Parton, is from East Tennessee.
Oh, okay. So a little bit of that whistle in there, maybe? Stumble out of the bed, out of cup to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition. So a little tighter, a little whistly.
It's whistly and almost sort of like chipmunky.
I guess.
Like country chipmunk.
Because she kind of is up in here, but part of that is just because she's Dolly, too.
Right. That's true. That's
with a little bit of warble in there when she talks.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, you are really, really good at this.
Thank you.
You should consider voiceover.
Man, I need more people to consider me for voiceover.
Fair. And then we got another two that came in. Armada. Did you see Michael Irvin crashing out yesterday? I did not. I heard about it, but I didn't actually see it. I think it was because somebody said that Deion Sanders would have, like in his prime, would have never been able to guard the receivers of today. And I would have crashed out if I had actually watched that, because that's insane. He is by far the greatest corner to have ever played football, but whatever. I love slippers. Chris, Russian accent.
Oh, you steal from Tina Fey. You act like there's a little piece of poop on your mouth and you don't want to get it in your mouth. So we're going to kind of elongate our jaw a little bit and not have that poop get in here. It's going to be like that. And that way, I actually have an audition that I have to do for voiceover for video game later today, where I get to be Russian. And I talk about my clearance levels and how yours look like Babytown Frolics. Mine, that's actual level. Elite.
Try to keep the poop from getting in your mouth?
Yeah.
That was
what Tina Fey said about Muppets Most Wanted. Was her dialect coach said, don't let the poop get in your mouth. And so you just kind of have this more. Yeah. You push your jaw out. So you have that. And then also you add some Y's behind you, like your THs.
Yet. I don't want poop in mouth.
Yes.
That would be very gross.
Mm-hmm.
See, the funny thing is, I'm one of those people that I can do stuff. The more I hear it, I can just emulate. But when you start getting technical, it gets hard for me.
Oh, well, honestly, mimicry. This is how Logan starts off his classes. Is he's like, be a cartoon. Go watch accents on DuckTales. Yeah. Like the 2018 one, which is so good. And then you just go from there. And then, okay, how do we go from DuckTales to HBO? And that's when some of the technical stuff comes in.
That's fair. That makes sense. Okay, well, I think that is last of Super Chat. If you want
Final Super Chat.
You should plug thing, Chris.
Come here. So, I have a couple things going on, y'all. 2 Filthy Casuals. We have an episode out today talking about Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It is such a great conversation with one of my favorite people, Kyle Marquis, another wonderful voice actor. We do get into spoiler territory in that one. We spoil Act 1, but those of you who listen, you know we hit you with that spoiler banjo. So go check that out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, so please, please, please go subscribe, smash that like button or whatever I'm supposed to tell you to do, share it with your friends. If you thought me doing any of these dialects today was mildly good, take a class with my husband. That's how I learned all of those from speakfriendstudios.com, speakfriendstudio.com, excuse me. We're one singular studio. You can take dialect classes with him, breath classes with him. You can take voiceover classes with me. We'll talk about those chambers of the voice, how to approach auditions, all that good stuff. So definitely check that all out. What do you got going on, Winston?
Amazing. You can find me at the Swaggy Blur on all platforms, here on YouTube. Blur Breakdown on Mondays. I will potentially not be doing one this Monday, but I'll let you know. It may be pre-recorded. But normally Mondays 6 p.m. the Pop Culture Show, for when you need to know, see what happened was. Tuesdays with Roca, Spill the Tequila. Wednesdays myself and Jay Washington, Blurs in the Hood. The Demon Slayer reactions, check them out. They are here. I also have been tagging they got a new collaboration tool. So they live here on the channel, but if you also subscribe to me, you'll be able to find links to those as well. So please do that. Capes and Cows here on Fridays. And yeah, I've got some other stuff that I'm going to be putting out on the channel soon, but I've got my busy week gets even busier this weekend. So yeah, we will see. We got a couple more super chats come in real quick. Let's see the first one. The G-Man, favorite VO story, Mel Blanc replaced sound effects of car starting when sound effects recording failed.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
I didn't even think about it. What was Michael Winslow? I feel like he's got to be on the
oh my gosh.
On the Mount Rushmore. I don't know how much VO other stuff he did, but just the sound effects he was able to do was just insane.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Eclipse, would you rather be a voice actor that can do many voices but can't act, or a good actor but can't do different voices?
Good actor. It always comes back to acting. Doing voices is the cherry on top. Everyone, every casting director who I've worked with or done a workshop with or whatever, always comes back to your natural speaking voice is enough for any kind of role. They always want great actors. And in fact, there's a wonderful casting director over at Blizzard, Andrea Toyes, who does I don't give a F about what your character voices are. I want you to sound like you're on Game of Thrones. I want you to move me. I want to be like absolutely enthralled and moved by your performance. So that's to me the more important one.
No, I think that's spot on. I honestly think that is absolutely spot on. Armada, another impression that killed me was Christian doing Mark Ellis, I'm Whispering. I forgot about that. That was very funny. Obviously he's not here right now, so we can't get him to do it. It was I don't think I could do it right now, both because the only way that I could pull this off, I was doing this really funny Jason Statham impression, but it requires so much swearing for me to do it that I feel like I can't do it for the show. If somehow in a miracle in the next 2 minutes, because we're wrapping up here, we hit 74, we're at 55, I'll do it, because we'll say it's the end of the show. Take the headphones off the kiddies. Yeah. But it was something else, man, because it was nonsense. It was absolute nonsense. And then the last one, Legend MM600. I want the Mariners to win. Let's go Seattle. That's what's up. Good luck to you. Yeah, because I think the Dodgers just kept it pushing now. My Rangers are out, and I think just hired a new manager, because the Phillies can fully shit the bed, right? And they're done. The series is over. Yep. Dodgers won the series. Okay. So let's see. I just want to check really fast what's left, because I've had so much going on. I didn't even really pay attention to the playoffs right now. Playoff bracket. That's what I'm looking for. This is not important. I am clearly just wasting time now. It's fine. All right. We got to get out of here. So once again, thank you so much to everybody for watching Capes and Cows. We appreciate you. Shout out to Christian for the quick cameo. Shout out to Chris Carr. Thank you so much. And most importantly, thanks to you. Thank you for watching. Appreciate each and every one. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to this channel, man. If you enjoy this, we got a lot of other awesome content. This show coming in Monday through Friday. And then obviously all not Capes and Cows, but Capes and Cows and the Kristian Harloff Show, all that kind of stuff. But all the reactions, all the stuff that you see on here. I know there's a push to get to, I think, 250,000 by the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed already, do it and share with your friends. Let them know what it is. So we're going to get out of here. Y'all have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you on the flip, man. Peace.